Hi everyone, welcome to my channel Canada CPA Online Academy, sharing the wisdom. Please subscribe to the channel, and if you want to see the presentation clearly, please adjust your display settings so that you can view it better. Okay, so today's topic is the most frequently asked question, that is for Indian CAs to become a Canadian CPA. So what is the process, how to pursue it, whether to pursue it, is it beneficial, is it worth it? So I'm going to try to explain and answer all these questions in today's presentation. So basically, Indian Chartered Accountants of ICAI and the Canadian CPA has a memorandum of understanding between them. So under that, when you are a qualified chartered accountant, then you are exempted from the initial levels and you are allowed to appear for the final examination. So here the it is called common final examination, or commonly referred to as CFE. So once you give this one exam, this marked in yellow CFE, you become a CPA. So now what does that mean? So if you see this diagram, there are various levels that you pass through to become a CPA in Canada. So based on your academic prerequisites, you are either required to take core 1, core 2, then you have to take electives 1 and 2, then you graduate to capstone 1, capstone 2, and then the CFE, and then the CPA. Now, as per the MOU, you are exempted from all the previous 4 levels, and you are directly coming here at the CFE level. So there is only one exam that you can give and become a Canadian CPA. Now, what are the requirements? So the requirements are not complicated. It is very simple. First, that you should have ICAI membership in good standing. That means you should have all dues paid. There is no complaint or anything against you in the chapter as such. So you should have the membership in good standing. Then you can request the good standing letter from ICAI. Here is the email for requesting that. Then that ICAI checks all the records, whether the fees are paid up, and all the record from your passing the CA. And then the good standing letter is emailed to your CPA Canada local chapter, and a CC is marked to you as well. Now you will have to register with the local CPA chapter. So like if you are in Toronto, you will have to apply to CPA Ontario. If you are in Calgary, Edmonton, you apply to CPA Alberta, and likewise. So based on where you are going to give the exam, you will have to register with that local chapter of CPA. Then as I mentioned, there is only one exam that you will have to give, that is CFE, to get a CPA degree in Canada. Now, what I would suggest is to give capstone 2 as well. Like when you are registering, they will ask you whether you want everything to be exempted and just to give CFE, but I would suggest you to give capstone 2. Now, in a minute, we'll come to the point where I'll explain what is capstone 2, but keep this in mind that it is highly recommended to give capstone 2. Then another important point is you can't give this online, even if the exam is like an online scenario, but still you have to be in person present here on the exam location to give this exam. So you can't be in India and give this exam online from there. So you have to plan your trip as per that. Then regarding, there are various requirements, like you have to be a student visa and all those. I'm not sure about all those details about the visa, so please check with your local agent for the visa that you will require for giving the exam here. If you're already here on PR and you are a chartered accountant and you're thinking to give CPA, then the visa requirements doesn't apply to you. Then another thing is, even after passing the CPA, there is one more additional requirement. Like we have articleship in India. Here it is 30 months of practical experience is required to get a CPA designation. Now, even if it is 30 months of practical experience, so if you have experience in India after becoming CA, then you can send that those details to CPA Canada and they validate it. So if you have worked for 3-4 months in a senior position in India after passing, so post qualification experience you have as a senior auditor in a firm or a senior finance manager or like that, then it is considered and your this requirement can be waived, but this will be validated by CPA Canada. So keep that in mind. You will have to send the resume to them and they will validate that experience. Now, the most important part is what is the cost. So these are, I have just picked these up, what is showing currently on the websites, but this is subject to change. So be sure to check those current fees on the CPA Canada website. So basically there would be a one-time initial registration fee that would be around Canadian dollars 430. Annual registration fee, now they sometimes they have like two semesters, so whether it's in the initial first half of the year or second half of the year. If you register in the second half of the year, the fees are slightly lesser, but it is around $1,000. Then capstone 2 module fees are around $1,260 and CFE fees are $1,500, so it is around $4,000. And if you opt to join some class or like tuition, then it would be an additional $1,000 to $1,500, so around $5,000 would be 5,000 Canadian dollars would be the cost of becoming a Canadian CPA. Now people ask whether if they have cleared one group of final or they have cleared the intermediate exam of CA, would there be any exemptions? So no, only if you are a qualified chartered accountant and you have an active membership with ICAI, then only you will get this benefit. Otherwise, you will have to get your transcript assessed from the CPA, and then they will assess based on how much exemption you will be eligible to. So that is based on person to person, what stage, what papers they have cleared and things like that. So like if you have done BCom, if you have done MCom or anything related, then for all those cases you will have to send in the transcript assessment and then they will decide how much exemption you will get. Now as I mentioned, capstone 2. So what is capstone 2? So capstone 2 is basically the case writing practice module. So say CFE is in September, so 2 months before that, so in July, August, you will be writing the practice cases that were tested on day 1, 2, 3 of the previous exam. So past 5 years your exam papers are usually you're solving in this module. So you write the answers, you submit it to CPA, those are marked, you receive the feedback, and from that you learn. So there are various due dates of submissions, like they give you a calendar of due dates and you will have to submit the cases. They have a online D2L tool for monitoring this submission and all the due dates. Then as I mentioned, the answers are marked by CPA markers and they provide you the feedback on the areas to improve. Now this is very important because we are not used to write the cases like case type of exam. We are usually used to a very different type of exam. So it is important to get that feedback and that experience of how to approach a case, what is required, and how to pass this exam. Now it's like they will give you like what would be your where do you stand. The feedback will give you where do you stand, and based on that you incorporate the suggestions in your writing, and then you keep on improving until the CFE. So CFE, as I mentioned, July, August, so it's divided over 8 weeks. Different case you write over these 2 months. And then after finishing that capstone, there is no pass or fail as such for capstone 2, because it's just a submission, so it doesn't matter how much you scored. It's just that at least 75% to 80% cases from the planned course you have to submit to clear the capstone 2 level. So once you clear capstone 2 level, you move to CFE. Now, what is CFE? So CFE is a 3-day exam. So, and it is named with the day. So day 1, day 2, and day 3. That is how it is called. Now it is assessed, like the passing is assessed as day 1 as a separate, and day 2 and 3 as a separate. So if you pass day 1, you are cleared day 1. Like we have groups in our CA exam, like group 1, group 2. You can consider the situation similarly. So day 1 is one group, and day 2 and 3 is one group. So you can't pass day 2 separately. You have to pass day 2 and 3 together, and day 1 separately. And if you clear all these 3 days, then you clear the CFE. So day 1 is a 4 hours exam. It's a one big case which is based on capstone 1. Now you will ask me, what is capstone 1? So capstone 1 is a big 40, 50, 60 pages case which you solve in that stage of your study. Like before capstone 1, you clear capstone 2. So capstone 1, they give you a big 50 pages case study. You are assigned a group of 6 to 8 people, and then you present that case to the CPA panel. And based on your presentation skills or technicals and all those things, then you clear that level. So the same case is there. You have to, so even if you have not given capstone 1, you still will have to read and study the case, what has happened. So now on that case, based on that case, suppose so that company 5 years later or 10 years later, what happens to that company? That is the case that comes for day 1. Now it's a shorter version, around 20 pages for day 1, but the basic structure of that case comes from capstone 1. So like the board of directors are same. You need to know what are their business, what are their strengths, and how the structure operates, and so there will be a lot of decision factors that you will have to link back and forth from the original case to the day 1 case. So it is a 4-hour exam based on capstone 1 case. Now the focus of day 1 is on the strategic decision making and the long-term planning. So it doesn't go too much on technical, but it is more like a as a partner level to board of director level discussion. So are you able to think from a bird's eye view? Are you able to give the long-term planning, strategic decision making? Are you able to consider all these factors? So that is assessed in day 1. Now day 2 is a 5-hour exam. Now there is one case on day 2. Now this is based on your elective subject. Now what is your elective? So when you register for CFE, you will have to select one elective. Elective is your specialization kind of. So which subject you want to specialize in. So that you have 4 options for that. So assurance, that is audit, tax, finance, and performance management. So these are the 4 options that you will get. Most of the people come from assurance audit backgrounds. So they select assurance as their elective, and it is also required if you want to practice as a CPA afterwards. If you want to get a license and practice, then you need this elective to be selected on your CFE. So keep all that in mind while selecting your elective. And then on day 2, so the case has all the options, like for all electives, and based on your elective you have to read only that part of the case and solve it. So your knowledge in financial reporting and management accounting and your elective. So if you have selected audit assurance as your elective, then audit. So these three subjects will be tested on day 2 if you have selected assurance audit. So there will be no tax, there will be no finance or any other subject that will be tested on day 2 if you have assurance elective. Now the next one is day 3. Now day 3 is a 4 hours exam. Here you will have 3 small cases. These cases have the timing in between like 60 minutes to 80 minutes. So 60 minutes one case, 70 minutes another case, and 80 minutes maybe third case. So you have to solve 3 small cases in those 4 hours. It is very time constrained. And there are all the subjects are tested. Now this is a common paper for everyone, so everyone would be writing these three cases. Day 1 also everyone would be writing the same case. Day 2, based on your elective, you will be writing that portion. Now what are the 6 subjects that are tested? First is audit, financial reporting, tax, management accounting, finance, and strategy and governance. So these are the 6 subjects that are tested on day 3. So that is day 1, 2, and 3 for CFE. Now just to give you an idea of what is the difference, like where do you stand, what is the difference between a CA and a CPA. So Indian CA is very in-depth technical knowledge based exam, and it is individual subject based exam. So like today you are going for a paper, you know that today you have your audit paper or your financial management paper. So here since it is case based, it's not like that. So like for day 3 case, all subjects are tested together. So it's a case-based exam, not a subject-based exam. So what difference does that make is you need to know a little bit from everything, and the questions are not very clear. So it is as if you are practicing CPA and a client comes to you and he is discussing something with you related to his business, and you need to advise him related to all the matters. Okay, so suppose he is telling something, oh, I'm planning to consider to sell this property, then you should be aware that, oh, okay, I need to consult about the capital gain. So it would be discussion based, and based on that you will have to suggest. So it's not a clear question answer one subject type of format. So it is very different, and for that is why the case writing skills are required, which we need to learn as a new skill as such, because we have never dealt with it. So we need to learn the case writing skills and the time management skill, because all the 3 days, like CPA says that only day 3 is time constrained, but personally I find all 3 days are very much time constrained. And so you have to balance that, the requirement, the technical knowledge, and you have to you can't be just good in audit, you can't be just good, so you solved all tax questions everywhere and you missed management accounting, then that's a fail. So you have to balance a lot of things to crack this code and to clear CFE. So you need to understand what is the focus, what is the passing requirement, what is the intention of each day. Like I was mentioning, day 1 is a very strategic focus. So you can't go into details of the situation. You need to have that bird's eye view and should be able to spot the problems on an overall basis. Okay, so that is a difference. Now, technical knowledge is not very deep. Being said that, it's still a lot to study, because it covers in financial reporting all IFRS, Canadian accounting standards, that is ASPE. For audit, it covers all the Canadian auditing standards. Tax, entire tax is new for us because we have never learned Canadian tax. So tax is new. So there is a lot to take in, lot to study, but the difficulty level of each individual topic as such is not too complex. That's what I'm trying to say. only the elective subject that you have taken for day 2 that requires detailed knowledge. So your day 2 case writing is more detailed for your elective. Now the passing percentage, the Indian CA results are known for their low result percentage. As compared to CPA, the passing percentage is in the range of 70 to 75%. Yay, good news. So it's doable. Like it has a good passing percentage. Then it's not a written pen and paper exam, it's an online exam. You have to write your theory in Word and the calculations in Excel, and you have to refer it back and forth. So it's an online, so they have like Excel and Word type of format softwares, and that gets locked after the time ends, and it's submitted online. And it is not based on actual marks, like out of 10 have you scored 5, 6 or 7. It's not like that. It's a qualitative assessment, so it's divided into grades, C, C, D. So like C is means you are competent, RC is a level below, so like reaching competence, and C is not competent. So like that they have grades. So based on your answer, they have some suggested pre-feedback guide that they call. So based on that, they will assess whether you are reaching that competence level, or you're competent, or you're competent with distinction. So that's how it is. It's more qualitative assessment as against the quantitative actual marking assessment. So that is the overall differences. Now the last question is, how much time is required for preparation, and is it doable? So yes, it is doable if you give focused efforts. So like September exam would require, like, start from December, January. If you're giving the next May, I would say start now to prepare. So initially start with your weekends and some evenings, so 8 to 10 hours of studying. Just start revising ASPE, IFRS, technicals, so that depending on your knowledge gap, like how long ago you have done your CA. If you're a recent CA, it's easier because these things are still fresh, but still like tax, we have to go entirely through, because we don't know Canadian taxation. So there is a lot of reading to do. So initially every week 8 to 10 hours of studying, and then around 5 months before the exam, start with at least day 3 case practicing, because that's a skill that takes time to develop. Like in the format that is required by CPA, it takes time. And then in the last 3 months there will be capstone 2, so you'll be writing a lot more cases. You can take, if you're working, you can take a month, 15 days, 3 weeks, whatever your work situation permits. You can take off from your work, and then you can study. So last 3 months, 20 to 30 hours of per week study is required, depending upon like how much preparation level where you are. So I think that's it. If you have questions, please let me know in the comment box, and I'll be happy to answer. And all the best, and do give it a shot. It's worth it. It's worth doing it for the Canadian job market. So all the best, and let me know if you have any questions. Thank you.